All right. So I apologize. We had a bit of an interruption there, but apparently I'm back live again. So anyway, moving right along. A lot of people. It's been over a year, maybe 2 years since I've done this, and I realize there's a lot of people that are new to the Mandela effect, new on the scene, and other YouTube channels, and they have legitimate questions and concerns over my outlandish claims. Um, One of the things I'm getting a lot lately is, am I a Christian? The answer is yes, I am. I'll get to that later in the video. The other question is my physics. You can see my drawing up here, and we'll get to that later in the video. But what seems to be the one of the number one concerns is over my completely outlandish claim that I worked 10 people below the U.S. president. So let's get to that first. Since it's been a long time since I've done this, and I apologize. I had this ready a minute ago. It has to recognize me. All right, so here we go. Hopefully you can all see this. Oh, I forgot it's backwards. We're live on. I forgot when we're live, everything's backwards. So anyway, here's the chain of command. I'll just have to read it to you. So you have the President of the United States of America, and I work 10 people below him. So below him is the Vice President of the United States. That's number two. Number three is the Secretary of Defense. Number four is the Secretary of the Navy. Number five is the Admiral of the Pacific Fleet, AirPac, because you have your different divisions. So from the Admiral Navy, then you have all the aircraft, you have the submariners, and you got, sorry, the Pacific Fleet. So then you have an admiral over each of those commands. So now I was in what's called an Airgale. So now we're getting into the aircraft division of the Navy. So, well, sorry, it's too bad you can't read this. But anyway, so below the Admiral of the Pacific Fleet, that's the fifth below the President of the United States of America, we had what was known as, at that time, this is back in the 90s, COMFIT AEW, which stands for Commander Fighter Airborne Early Warning Wing Pacific Fleet. The Navy decided what that command was is that the Admiral was in charge of every single aircraft in the Navy in the entire Pacific Fleet. So that's what that command was. They decided to split the command into all the jet aircraft in the Pacific Fleet and then all the propeller driven aircraft in the Pacific Fleet. So, God, I wish you could see this. It's kind of sad, but oh well, they split the commands. Oops, I goofed. Well, that kind of sucks. But anyway, you can't see it anyway, and I have it memorized. So they split the commands, and normally you have an admiral that would be over all the fighter aircraft in the Pacific Fleet, and you have an admiral over all the propeller-driven aircraft in the Pacific Fleet. Um, but they didn't have enough admirals at the time to go around, so the commander of the Airborne Early Warning Wing was Captain Michael R. Cooper, and because you can't have a the title captain fulfilling the role of admiral, he was given the title Commodore. And Commodore, if you know your history, it's in the Navy. It's reserved for only during wartime, and it refers to a one-star admiral. And it was only given out during World War II. It's the only time the Navy used it. So this is the second time in naval history that they used the title Commodore. So, in this reference, it's a captain fulfilling the role of an admiral. So, my boss was six people below the president, and he was the Commodore of the Pacific Fleet. Under him was the was the chief of staff. Under him was the admin of the Pacific Fleet, Airborne Early Warning Wing, and then you had the senior chief, and then me. I was the yeoman for the Airborne Early Warning Wing Pacific Fleet. So I worked 10 people below the president. And then underneath our command was intelligence, was naval intelligence for the U.S. Pacific Fleet, and then also was 24 squadrons, basically every propeller-driven aircraft in the U.S. Navy that flew in the Pacific Fleet. So there's your chain of command. I technically worked 10 people below the U.S. president, and my job, you know, as the yeoman for the Pacific Fleet, yeoman of the Airborne Early Warning Wing Pacific Fleet, my one of my main jobs was I was responsible for bringing in all the classes. I can't even say this. I was responsible for bringing in all the classified. What did you say? That's well. Anyway, sorry, a comment came up. Anyway, I was responsible for bringing in all the classified information for the command. And I when I go to work, I didn't have the security clearance for my own hard drive. My computer had a removable hard drive that I had to remove and turn into the senior chief or the admin officer, and they kept it in. I mean, this office we have was huge, and you walk in there, there's a little foyer and a desk, and then there's these huge, gigantic, huge safes. And it's really funny. You talk about the Navy, how they compartmentalize things. Each we had a compartmentalize the classified material. So each safe was like, oh, if it's this material, it goes in that safe. If it's this material, it goes in that safe. So we had like a whole bunch of safes. It's ridiculous how many safes we had. The way we categorize classified material. But yeah, you're surely, I was the guy telling people below the president. Responsible. My boss was six people below the president. So I was responsible for bringing in all the classified material for that command. So when I got to work, I had to wait for the senior chief or the admin officer to hand me my hard drive, and then I inserted my hard drive. I was connected, not internet, it's intranet. We were connected via fiber optics, and then I began downloading hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of classified material every day. Part of that was the classified CIA Worldwide Intelligence Report. So I have a firsthand knowledge of, on a classified level, of how our military works and how the government works. I, in our safes we had top secret documents from the CIA. So we had CIA top secret documents in our safe. Some stuff was just so damn classified. I had to go to the message center and get a lot of classified information from them because those were the CTs are, cryptologists in the message center. Those guys handle the really sensitive shit. Excuse my language. So I had to go, up to the message center and pick up. Well, usually it wasn't very much. I don't know, like 10, maybe 20 pages, maybe like 10 or 20 pages a day was so classified that I couldn't pick it up from my internet, my fiber optic. So I went to the message center, and the cryptologist would hand me about 20 pages of classified material every single day. And then it was my responsibility to disseminate that classified information to the entire command of the Airborne Early Warning Wing. So I was the gatekeeper of all the classified material for the Airborne Early Warning Wing. So, and then, okay, how can I prove it? Well, I'm not going to show you my DD-214. Sorry, I'm not going to do that. That's a social security number and date of birth on there. And I've done this before. Oh, shit, it's backwards again. Damn it. Ah! Well, I'll just have to read to you. Anyway, it says Department of the Navy. This is certified that the Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy Achievement Medal to me, professional achievement. And so it's between August to December 1993 is what happened is, as I mentioned, the command split. And so I was handpicked, selected, and invited, and I accepted the invitation to help create the Airborne Early Warning Wing for the Pacific Fleet. And I am a plank owner because when you start a command, shoot, that's in storage. It's huge. It's like this gigantic, huge certificate that you're a plank owner. You probably don't know what that is. People are maybe familiar with shellback when you cross the equator. They give you another certificate. Basically, a plank owner means that you help start a command. So I'm a plank owner. And then, well, again, you can't read this, but when they give you a citation, you basically they have to just put a bunch of unclassified stuff in there. So anytime you get a certificate, they can only put the unclassified stuff you did in the certificate. So there's that. People ask the question, am I a Christian? And the answer is yes. I have an AA degree in biblical studies. I have a bachelor's of arts. And I'll just show this here. This is my Bachelor of Arts. Oh, dang it. I keep forgetting it's all reversed. Anyway, if you see this little gold thing, it means I graduated with honors, magna cum laude. I was a minister for over 10 years. I served in California. I'm from California. I'm in Texas now. I'm from California. So I served at mega churches like Mariners. Some of you might know Rick Warren's church, Saddleback Church. So I served there as well. So I was in ministry for over 10 years. Sorry. Just a second here. Need a drink there. So, and to go further on that, a branch of my family. Now I gotta remember this now. So we have my on my grandpa's side. Sorry, my grandpa's side of the family. His yeah. So my grandpa's side of the family, he had a brother, and his brother had two children, and those two children started the Southern Baptist Church in America. Now, on my grandmother's side of the family, her grandfather's grandfather and then like a relative, like a branch over in that family, they started the Church of God. And then you take my grandpa, his brother they had four children by the way. So another brother had a child. No, excuse me. My grandpa's brother started Christian radio in America. What's really interesting is when they started Christian Radio America, the greatest opposition they had was the Christians. Yes, the Christians did not want Christian radio in America. The Christians were in an uproar. They took my family to court. Christians, the churches in America, took my family to court to try to stop us from having Christian radio in America. That's true. That's true. And the reason is because the Bible states that the devil is the prince and the principalities of the air. So because the devil is the prince and the power of the air, and radio is transmitted through the air, therefore it is dynamic. It is evil, and we cannot allow God's word to be transmitted through a devil's tool. And they took us to court. Anyway, my family won. And as you know, because we have Christian radio in America, so my family won the court case, and now we have Christian radio in America. So yes, I'm a Christian. I come from a long line of pastors. My uncle is a pastor. My uncle is also an ambassador of the United States of America. So my uncle is also an ambassador. No, he's not an ambassador. Excuse me. You have an ambassador and the guy right below the ambassador. I forgot what the guy was called. So you have an ambassador and he's right below. And so that's what he did. He went all over the world, different embassies, and he's got wild stories to tell. But anyway, all right. So I think that takes care of the Christian thing. Yes, I'm a Christian. Why not mention this real quick? So yes, I'm a QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique Practitioner, taught by Dolores Cannon. Here's my certificate. Dang it. Well, anyway, I forget everything's backwards. So there's my certificate there. And then physics. Well, basically, after I got out of the Navy, I was involved in. Oh, by the way, let me state this: everything I've learned in the Navy was under my secrecy oath, as you say. I will never divulge any of that information because I don't feel like spending some time in Livermore, so I'm not going to do that. Now, the thing is, the reason you need to know about my background is because I know what's going on in the freaking world. I was telling people about the freaking president. I've held in my hand top secret documents, CIA, top secret. I mean, I read the CIA world. I know what's going on in the world, people. Come on. I know what's going on in the world. So anyway, after I got in the Navy, I was involved in a lot of what you call blackout projects. What people don't understand is that's a whole different world. But anyway, so in 1994, while I was in the Navy, working 10 feet below the president, that's when I first became aware of the Mandela, what you call today the Mandela effect. So I've been dealing with what you call the Mandela effect since 1994. As of the time I make this video, That's 24 years. So for 24 years, I have been dealing with the Mandela effect, as you say, on a classified level. Okay, and I wasn't able to say anything really, but now the whole world, around 2015, all these little kids with Berenstain Bears, and oh, that's the funny thing is, people always ask, I wonder if the kids know about the Mandela effect. I wonder if the kids know. I mean, how's a 7-year-old kid? How can all their memories change overnight? So, this is what I want to tell you. The Mandela effect, folks, people, on YouTube, it began with children. It was all kids, all children. If you would have came on the scene 3 years ago, all the Mandela effect videos, all of them were kids. I'm talking like 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds. And I don't think they went and got their parents' permission. I mean, kids, 7-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 12-year-olds, they have cell phones. They have the YouTube app. They hit live, and these kids were losing their cookies, talking about their little Berenstain Bears. And people go, "Oh, I'm so tired of hearing about the Berenstain Bears." What you don't understand is that children began the Mandela effect with their little beloved Berenstain book, and you had little 7 and 9-year-olds going, "I can't believe my book's changed," and they're freaking out. They're losing their cookies. And the thing is, you have to understand is that there's 4 versions of this book. There's, from my old earth, there's Berenstain Bears, and then there's also Berenstein, and then there's Berenstain Bears, and then there's Berenstain Bears. So there's 4 versions of this book, and kids were flipping out about their Curious George, and I came on the scene. I made the Mandela effect go viral. Researcher and author Stasha Erickson, when she went to write a book on the Mandela effect, she went to talk about the human anatomy. Well, I'm the first person in human anatomy. She wanted to talk about anything about the body. I was the first person on all of that. To talk about where we are in the universe, just yada yada yada. Anything she came up research. So basically, she wrote the book, The Mandela Effect: Everything's Changing, by Stasha Erickson. Um, it's it's over 300 pages, and basically the entire book is, you might as well just say it's about me, because I'm the first guy on the scene, and I literally made the Mandela Effect go viral. And then you can't see it now, but the physics earlier. So starting in chapter 7, back in 1999, I wrote in a paper I called Throne of God, and now I nickname it Physics of the Bible. Basically, I wanted to find a way to relate physics to the common folk, and the Bible seemed a good way to do it, because the Bible is loaded with truths about physics. For example, when they say 1 day of the Lord is like 1,000 days on earth, well, that's a theory of relativity, because where you are in the universe is relative to time. So that's a theory of relativity. So in my paper, and you can buy it if you wish, and I don't make any money for it, by the way. I quote the Bible, and then I say, "Here's the physics. Here's the Bible. Here's the physics." And you can see all my physics in here, all these physics diagrams. So I wrote 70 pages of this book. So I highly recommend you read. So again, in 1999, that's just when I got around to copywriting this thing. And this explains the Mandela effect, people. So here's the physics behind the Mandela effect. So you can enjoy the physics as well. So basically, I have rather outlandish claims. I've worked 10 people below the president. I'm literally the only person in the entire world who is a true insider telling you what the Mandela effect is as much as I can. There's a lot of stuff I can't tell you. A lot of times. But I do what you call skirt the gray line. A lot of people say, well, if you really are who you see, or how come you're still alive and how come you're not in jail? Well, this is how it works. When you cross the line, they mess with you telepathically. And if that doesn't work, then you get a phone call. Yes, I've gotten the phone call. And then if you don't listen to the phone call, then you end up in jail. Yes, I ended up in jail. I was framed for crimes that I did not commit, and I suffer the consequences of that. So yes, I have. In case you're wondering, yes, I've been to jail over what I delivered to you. I don't talk about it, but I've been making videos for 3 years now. There's a good portion of that time. I've had a lot of legal issues, so I do have problems giving you the information that I give you. So I actually consider it a huge insult when people say these things to me because, yes, I've sat in jail for you people. Okay? I have sat in jail to deliver this information to you. It's real. It's authentic. I have any cuckoo crazy agenda. Basically, reality is not what you think it is, people. It's not. It's not. You have, even me, with everything I know, and all my classified information, yada yada, and all the black projects I've been on, and blah 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 blah. Even I don't know everything. Even I don't cannot fathom reality as a human being. Now, as a spiritual being, yes, I can, but I'm talking as a human, and most of you are listening to me as a human. I don't know if you're fully tapped into God and the whole universe, but as a human, I just want to tell you, reality is not what you think it is. Let me give you a simple example. Hopefully, you know this one. Um, let's say you have a table in front of you, and that table looks solid, does it not? But hopefully, you already know this. The table in front of you is not solid. We have proven this with everyday physics. Everything is in constant motion. You see, the reason the table looks solid to you is because you have, let's just say, atoms that are in constant motion, and then you have a bond between the atoms. And it's this bond right here, the bond between the constant motion that gives it the appearance of being solid. So even the table, even a rock, everything, everything in your reality is not solid. It is in a constant state of motion. The way that the atoms form and the bonds between the atoms and the way they form, and that is what do you call a makeup. So they make up a certain structure. So they might make up my face, or they might make up this bed behind me, make up this plastic. The way the so this is not solid. You can see through it, but it's not solid. You take water. Water is what? It's liquid. It's vapor. It's ice. Those are simple examples to hopefully open your mind a little bit to understand that reality is not what you think it is. It's not. I would love to tell you, I think I've done a pretty damn good job of sounding completely insane and cuckoo on YouTube. I have over 300 videos. I have a few channels. There's One Harmony. It used to be called One Harmony Mandela Effect, but now it's called One Harmony. So I have that channel. I have the one you're listening to, Harmony Mandela Effect. I have another channel called Soul Harmonics. That's my QHHD business. And then I originally started over 3 years ago. My original channel was called Harmony, and that channel got hacked and shut down. I had 8,000 subscribers. Poof, I lost that overnight. So I guess back to the other claim is like if I really am who I say, how come I haven't been shut down? Well, I have been shut down. My original channel in the beginning, I was the guy that made on my Harmony channel. That is the pioneer channel that made the Mandela effect go viral. Literally, no joke. And it got hacked, shut down, poof, gone. You know. Um, Currently, my Harmony channel is pretty much shut down. I got strike on that thing. Anyway, blah blah blah. Let's move on. All right. So I think I said enough. Um, I don't know if you have any other questions. I'm really easy to get a hold of. You can contact me on Skype. My username, whatever you call it on Skype, is what can I tell you? It's all one word. What can I tell you? You know, and then my website, which you can get my personal phone number from, and the best time to call me is Monday through Friday between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.